turns out, remember when Pfizer was asked to give all the data on their trials and all that stuff? And they said it's going to take 75 years for us to give it out. That's what they said. 75 years.
Wow. That's like the opposite of Operation Warp Speed.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Right. They could get the vaccine to you, but they can't get you the papers around it. So here, this is an article from it's from the Defender, Children's Health Defense News. It says judge gives FDA 8 months, not 75 years, to produce Pfizer safety data. 75 years.
I'm shocked that the judge, it's shocking to hear a judge make a decision that is right at Pfizer.
Yes, right.
I'm shocked by that.
75 years. You think Pfizer killed Kennedy? That's what, come on, 75 years. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, will have 8 months, not the 75 years it requested, to release all documents related to the licensing of Pfizer's Comirnaty COVID vaccine. A federal judge ruled Thursday. 8 months, not 75 years. In his ruling, Judge Mark Pittman of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas quoted President John Kennedy, writing, quote, "A nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people." And now you know why they killed him.
Yeah, he just signed his...
Now you know why the CIA had to take that guy out. The documents in question relate to a Freedom of Information Act request filed in August 2020 by Public Health and Medical Professionals for Transparency, or PHMPT. They're a group of more than 30 medical and public health professionals and scientists from institutions such as Harvard, Yale, and UCLA. And they said, Pfizer, give us the data from your trials for these vaccines. And Pfizer said no. And so they sued. Judge Pittman rejected the FDA's claim that it could release redacted versions of documents at a rate of only 500 pages per month, which would have meant the full cache of documents wouldn't become public until 2096. Wait till you find out why they say they couldn't get the papers faster. In his 4-page order, Judge Pittman ordered the FDA to produce more than 12,000 pages of documents on or before January 31st, and thereafter to produce the remaining documents at a rate of 55,000 pages every 30 days, with the first production being due on or before March 1st, 2022, until production is complete. I like that, Judge.
Yeah.
In its FOIA request, PHMPT asked the FDA to release all data and information for the Pfizer vaccine, including safety and effectiveness data, adverse reaction reports, and a list of active and inactive ingredients. PHMPT had initially requested expedited processing of its FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request submission, on the basis there is a compelling need for the swift release of the documents in question, further arguing that the documentation should be fully released within 108 days, the number of days it took the FDA to approve Pfizer's vaccine. Makes sense to me. If you can approve a vaccine in 108 days, you should be able to give me the data you went over in those 108 days to make sure you approved it. You can go over the data in 108 days. Why can't you release that same data in 108 days? Well, they can. But why do you think they don't want to release that data? Why do you think they didn't want to release it for 75 years? What is in that data that the FDA is afraid to share with people? The FDA, in its argument, recognized that it had an obligation to make the information public, but claimed its Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, which maintains the records in question, has only 10 staff members, 2 of whom are new. And the dog ate my homework.
I did not expect that to be the... Well, who looked at the research to approve the vaccine?
Somebody had to look at those same pages to approve the vaccine, right?
Did they all resign in protest or something?
And by the way, Pfizer is going to make $35 billion this year off the vaccine. You don't think they could front you a little money to hire a few more people? Because they make up 70% of their budget when they're approving drugs and vaccines. That's funded by Big Pharma to the tune of 70%. So the FDA's on the take to Big Pharma. Don't you think that Big Pharma would want to give you a couple of more $1 billion to hire a couple of more people to do this?
How many people does it take to email some files?
In his order, Judge Pittman recognized the burden placed on the FDA in meeting the timeline for the release of these documents, but nevertheless made clear that it must be a priority for the agency, saying, here the court recognizes the unduly burdensome challenges that this FOIA request may present to the FDA, but as expressed at the scheduling conference, there may not be a more important issue at the Food and Drug Administration than the pandemic, the Pfizer vaccine, getting every American vaccinated, and making sure that the American public is assured that this is not rushed on behalf of the United States.
So, okay, there's only 10 people and 2 of them are new. And they estimate that it will take those people those people will be there for 75 years preparing documents.
Yes. Just for this one Freedom of Information request, it'll take them 75 years.
Do those 2 new people know what they got into? That they're going to spend the next 75 years going through documents?
So here it goes on. However, the legal team representing PHMPT argued in its court papers that the FDA, as of 2020, had 18,062 employees, indicating the agency could find the necessary manpower to rapidly fulfill the FOIA request. It is unclear whether the FDA will appeal Thursday's decision. If not, both the FDA and the PHMPT are required to submit a report by April 1st detailing the progress being made regarding the release of the documents. Attorney Aaron Suri of the Suri, but that's got to fucking set phones off all day long. All day long over at that law firm. Hello, Suri, and my phone. Who represented PA in its laws, told Reuters that the judge's order came down on the side of transparency and accountability. Further remarking on the decision, Suri wrote, this is a great win for transparency and removes one of the strangleholds federal health authorities have had on the data needed for independent scientists to offer solutions and address serious issues with the current vaccine program. Issues which include waning immunity, variants evading vaccine immunity, and, as the CDC has confirmed, that the vaccines do not prevent transmission. That's according to the defender. I think they would say that it reduces transmission. No person should ever be coerced to engage in an unwanted medical procedure. And while it is bad enough that government violated this basic liberty right by mandating the COVID-19 vaccine, the government also wanted to hide the data by waiting to fully produce what it relied upon to license this product until almost every American alive today is dead. That form of governance is destructive to liberty and antithetical to the openness required in a democratic society. Very powerful words, and thank God for that judge. So now you know. Go ahead, Kurt.
I mean, first of all, they don't know if they're going to appeal. If I had to bet money, I'm going to say they're going to appeal, and then somebody higher up will squash this entire transparency thing. Like I think a judge is great for that, but you think that's not going to get crushed?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to find out who killed his father before the FDA is going to make that data available about the vaccine. Yeah. Okay, so now you know. Now you know what's going on with the FDA and the lack of transparency, and why are they doing that? Doesn't that make... So again, no other lefty on YouTube has a concern about that. I haven't seen anybody do a video about it. What, does anybody give a shit? Or are they all a bunch of nutless wonders? And that's what they are. Hey, come see a live Jimmy Dore show. We're in Los Angeles, January 7th and 14th. Then we're in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Philadelphia. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets and become a premium member to get access to all our premium videos.